You were beating the shit out of that foam pad. I don't know what you were channeling.
I have a lot of anger.
Stop! Stop!
Fucking touch me!
It's okay. It's me. It's me.
We did very few takes of this. This was like maybe 3 takes.
Yeah.
He tried to...
I just felt like so intense with each one. It was like, yeah, we got it. That's enough.
It's the first time that, Ellie and Joel, like, embraces that physical contact. And it's such a great choice, I think, for you to, the dialogue wasn't important.
Yeah, it was just a gesture. So it was like, just let the music take over. And it's the same theme from when, his daughter dies. This was the scene where you got the most emotional. You almost cried in this scene.
Oh, that's right.
We don't have to do this. You know that, right?
First time Joel questions the whole idea of this mission.
But in a different way, though. Before it was, why am I wasting my time doing this? And now I'm saying, maybe that's not what we need. Maybe that's not the answer.
Maybe it's not worth it.
Well, yeah, it's not worth it.
Everything that I've done.
But I love that this comes off of what you said was one of your favorite moments, which was the
giraffe sequence. That fleeting moment where Ellie gets to be a kid one last time after the whole David sequence.
And how you even played that visually with, you just kind of catch the very last end of the giraffes moving there. So here we go.
Oh, Ellie's dead.
And I'm sure it was such an intentional thing to call back to the very beginning, to where Joel finds himself in this situation again. And after everything that we've been through, it's like, I won't go through this. And
Hands in the air.
just again, that irrational, maddening, desperate calling for help.
From this point forward, it's like the beginning backwards, where if this is the point Sarah dies, like now you're about to do the Carrie sequence.
Yeah.
Then you like play as Ellie walking, like viewing Joel from the outside, and then you end on the shot with Ellie. So it's like the beginning reversed.
Sorry about that. They didn't know who
Let
you
me
were.
see Marlene again.
And Ellie?
She's all right. They brought her back.
The discussions I had with Merle about this scene is, again, her desperation to find someone that will understand, that will empathize with her decision to kill Ellie to save humanity. And she's hoping she could get that out of Joel because he's the only other person that has cared for Ellie the way she has. And she can't get that out of him.
I just think it was such a great way to bookend. They're going to start and begin
Pretty much lost.
with Marlene, and it's so great that they were able to capture just the strength that she has, even when she was sitting in that chair.
Yeah.
And again, she's completely empathetic, even though she's supposed to be antagonistic.
It's a very similar line to what David says.
Take me to her.
You don't have to worry about her anymore. We'll take care
I
of her.
worry. Just let me see her, please.
You can't. She's being prepped.
This is
for
when I've
surgery.
always seen Joel in the most parental role.
Surgery.
The doctors tell me the cordyceps, the growth inside her, has somehow mutated. It's why she's immune. Once they remove it, they'll be able to reverse engineer a vaccine.
Yeah, her performance here was just
But it grows
Stellar.
hollow, Marina.
So flawless.
It does.
I remember talking with the music guys that were putting a lot of Gustavo's music in. And the first few passes were, there was this dark music that was playing here once Marlene reveals that Ellie's going to die. And I was like, we can't play Marlene as bad because she's not bad.
She's not.
I mean, she's trying to save everybody.
I knew her since she was born.
And if anything, I told them, was like, you can go dark with Joel. Because again, when Ellie's life is on the line, Ellie's in danger, he lets himself slip back into the murderer, the killer,
Right.
however you want to view it.
It's so interesting. I wonder how many players, like, especially in this moment right here, how many sided with Marlene and how many think that Joel was actually the wrong ones. Like, dude, listen to what she's saying.
But at the same time, this is the theme of the game for me right here. Is as a father, you will kill everybody else to save your kid, and that has always been kind of the through line for me. Is Joel's willing to go to the end of the line, meaning sacrifice humanity to save Ellie.
Again,
Robin Atkin Downs.
Guess what's going to happen to him? But this was so cool too because, I mean, we've seen all the way through both cinematic and gameplay. You know, Joel is able to take on everybody, but just this moment of resolve that I'm going to wait for my moment.
I said move.
And it almost looks like he's a beaten, defeated person.
Give me an excuse.
And that grimace right there, it's like, no, he's not.
Which way?
Yeah, again, the way you've interpreted Joel is like a man who lets his emotions get the better of him here has to keep them in check. You see how like he wants to destroy this man and everybody here for what they're doing to Ellie, but he has to wait. He has to catch the right moment.
I said keep walking.
Bam.
Where was the operating room?
And again, just such a brutal scene. There's no threat here. It's
just time. Time is the threat.
now I'll let you die.
This scene used to originally be all in the operating room. And Joel wasn't carrying Ellie. He killed Marlene and the doctors in the operating room. And then Peter Field, designer, just kept bugging me. He's like, I feel like we have to play this part. It's, you know, you have to carry Ellie out yourself. It can't just be like hinted at. And we ended up switching the whole structure of this thing. He was right. It was like, it worked way better.
That was another one of those moments where we're like, we're done, we've got it. No, we don't.
As a cinematic, it was. I thought it was perfect. But as a bigger part of the game, it was weaker than letting you play through some of it.
She won't feel anything.
Again, the only hesitation Joel has is that this is what Ellie wants.
And it's such a great decision to show, just cut to this. Give the audience, the player, just one last moment of, well, what did he choose? Just to sit in that decision.
It was also important to show the lie against the reality, because the lie has so much weight here at the end. Throughout the game, Joel has never lied to Ellie. He might have disagreed or he might have dismissed her, but he's never outright lied to her.
What happened?
And for me, this was the moment I decided to lie.
We found the fireflies. Turns out there's a whole lot more like you, Ellie. People that
To me, it hurt to say these things.
ain't done a damn bit of good neither.
Because once Ellie started believing that I actually had something, that I was someone, you're basically telling Ellie, you're not special, you're not important, and everything you've done was for nothing.
I'm taking us home.
Yeah, in the first few versions of the scenes, there was like Ellie had all these questions like,
Sorry.
what happened? Why? Who was there? Why would they let you take me out with the gown still on? And it just was better if she said nothing and she just turned her back to him. And again, just to show how far Joel's willing to go to remove any threat for Ellie.
I mean, we had talked about this before where, you know, she obviously has that bullshit detector.
Let me go.
And I just felt like I knew you were lying. You know, I feel like Ellie knows you're lying.
There we go, the end. So, original ending for this, way back when we put the outline for the story together, is that Ellie believed the lie and they went off to Tommy's, and it was kind of like this wide tracking shot as you see them kind of getting smaller and smaller walking off to Tommy's. But as we went through the story and the characters got more and more developed, it's like it didn't feel honest. It didn't feel like Ellie would buy into all of it.
And she got bit too. We didn't know what to do.
I remember we went over and over and over this scene. Little things changed.
She says,
But every time I sat and watched you
let's just wait it
tell
out.
this story, I was just
You know, we can be all poetic
raptured
and just
by
lose
it.
our minds together.
It was so easy to listen to you tell this story.
I'm still waiting for my turn.
Ellie.
Her name was Riley, and she was the first to die. And then it was Tess. And then Sam.
None of that is on you.
You don't understand.
I struggled for a long time with surviving. And you... No matter what, you keep finding something to fight for. Now, I know that's not what you want to hear right now.
Swear to me.
Interesting hearing arguments around the office about how people interpret that last line, that last okay from Ellie. Whether it's, okay, I believe you, or okay, I could put this behind us, or okay, I don't trust you anymore and it's over.
Okay.
That's it.
I hope you guys enjoyed this. We certainly, this is for some of the scenes, it's the first time we had a chance to take a look at it, and it was interesting to kind of, in retrospect, after everything that we've been through, be able to kind of recall what we were thinking on that day, and then, 2.5 years later, how we feel about these things.
It's interesting we're ending this on the credits because there's so many people that have, all these people have put the story together, right? I mean, whether it's artists or programmers, or without all these people, none of this comes through. It doesn't matter how good the story is or the performance is.
There's hundreds of hands that this goes through.
And gets different kind of interpretations throughout the way until you end up with the final thing that hopefully you guys enjoyed.